wanna be the best in the game, invest in my name, check no restraints, I'm obsessed with the pain. I ingest, I retain, assess and I change, possessed by the thought I'll be free one day from society's restraints, money, clout and fame, mud, disease, a plague. We all love to hate, have to play the game, have to make a name. All our insecurities are on display. This is war with the enemy, think that it was meant.
I was built to last with the limbs of a weaving. I could change the past with all I'm achieving. Got my foot on the gas, never stop competing. If you break my glass, then this life's gonna end.
I wanna be the best in the game, invest in my name, check no restraints, I'm obsessed with the pain. I ingest, I retain, assess and I change, possessed by the thought I'll be free one day from society's restraints, money, clout and fame, mud, disease, a plague. We all love to hate, have to play the game, have to make a name. All our insecurities are on display. This is war with the enemy, think that it was meant to.
Boom, we're live. Can you all hear me? Give me a thumbs up in the chat if you can hear me. Not going to be a long live show tonight. I parked very early today because I'm running all recap hours. And I'm trying to set it up where every day is like 8.5 hours. That's the goal. That way, if I get out of jury duty, which I have to make a phone call tomorrow. Yep. I have to make a phone call tomorrow to find out if I have to report to jury duty. And if I don't have to report, I am just going to keep working. I want to address something real quick too that a lot of people left in the comments. Just let them know I'm a truck driver and they will excuse me. The county I live in, that's not how they play. I've already tried that tactic and I actually had them extend it. Like they give you one extension. I had them extend it already like 4 months for me to report. The only way I can be relieved without actually having to fill out any paperwork or anything is talk to a judge. So if I do get called in on Monday, I can request to speak to a judge and hopefully have them excuse me from, you know, the responsibility of jury duty. But that's the plan anyways, is call and hopefully I don't have to appear. But yeah, I got a little bit of an update on the international. For all you that don't know, I think the international's been down for like as long as I've owned, like as long as I've been able to drive it since I've owned it. It's been like 3.5 weeks now, something like that. Probably even longer if I really think about it. I spent 11 days in a hotel. But anyways, I heard from the shop today. The truck is gonna hopefully be brought in tomorrow and put on the machine that determines whether or not the frame is bent. I highly doubt the frame is bent. There's so many other things that would have been damaged if the frame got damaged. One being an aluminum rim. For all you that don't know, I did hit a curb. I did some curb stomping in my newer truck, newer to me anyways. And what's happened now is the truck leans like this very hard to the driver's side. I did break one leaf spring they replaced that, and then they replaced the driver's side leaf spring. That was the one that broke. And then they replaced the passenger side leaf spring because they said that one was bent. Yeah, Sean, I like that idea. Sorry, I'm not really reading comments because I'm on my phone, but that's awesome. I should have road tested you better. Yeah, you should have, DIY. But yeah, so hopefully the truck gets into the shop tomorrow. There is supposedly like a bus that's in front of it right now, but they're done doing work on that, I guess. So what she told me is tomorrow we're going to get the bus out of there. Then your truck's going to go on the machine and determine what's wrong with it. And then I asked, well, is it something you guys can fix when we determine it's not the frame? Are you going to be able to diagnose what's wrong with it? And she said, I'll have to get back to you on that. Man, the lighting's so weird. She said, I'll have to get back to you later today, which never happened. Why is my whatever. Just deal with it. I don't know what's going on. But yeah, hopefully the truck gets on the machine tomorrow. Hopefully it's not the frame, and hopefully we can figure out what I need to do or what they need to do to move forward to get the truck fixed. Because I'm making a payment on a truck that doesn't generate me a single penny, and I've already spent like $5,200 on the first shop. I mean, between the shop and the hotel and the flight home. I mean, I'm already like probably 50. I think it's 5,500 now with the flight. I'm already $5,500 in the hole. I second that. You could hire me to go look at it. DIY. I didn't even think of that. 1,000,000 pesos. Is that a lot of money? I don't even know how many a million pesos is. Probably shot myself in the foot there. DIY, let's talk. That is a great idea. Yes, that would actually be a very good idea. I know you're heading out that direction. $5,500, that's what she said. Cents per mile says, I second that. Like I said, I'm doing this on my computer, or not my computer, my phone, so it's kind of crappy reading all the comments. I see Call Me Cooley's in the house. What's going on, man? Thanks for stopping by. For all you that don't know, Call Me Cooley is a carrier, and he puts out some really good videos. DIY was the one that told me to start watching him. So I watch a lot of Call Me Cooley, so thanks for stopping by here, man. Butch says, Fate, worst case scenario, you're going to RGN that truck home for specific experiment. You know what? If I can't get the truck fixed, I haven't even thought about that, Butch. I haven't even thought about what to do with that yet. And like the other thing is, if the frame's bent, then I have to make a call to my insurance company. And file a claim, which I don't want to do. I already filed a claim on the Mac. I got hit, I don't know, that was probably a year and a half ago. And then today, I had a deer hit the truck. I'm sure DIY is still watching this. Don't worry, DIY, the truck is completely fine. But I was driving down 94 early this morning, and I look out my window. I was driving like this, and I look out to look at my mirror, and there's a deer right here, like ran right into the side of the truck. And then the reason I looked in my side of the mirror is I had a car that had its brights on, and he was getting into the left lane. So the deer ran out, hit the side of the truck, and flew back, and that car just freaking nailed it. I did pull over and make sure the guy in the car was okay, because he was going like 70 miles an hour. I was going 66 miles an hour. And he hit the thing freaking head on, totaled his car. But my truck's okay. Now I just have to, like I said, wait to see what's going on with the international. I'm still, not to beat a dead horse, and I'm not looking for any type of sympathy or like words of encouragement or anything like that. I'm still kicking myself in the ass for that incident. Because I just know when I replay the incident in my mind of what happened, for all you that don't know, I was making a right-hand turn. There was another car on the side of me. That car kind of came over a little bit, and I was bobtailing and way overreacted and hit a curb that was like, it was like a 2.5, 3 foot curb. I hit it hard, like 25, 30 miles an hour, hard enough that I was on the phone with somebody and they heard it happen. Jerome Jones is in the house. Good news. All this was a little update, Jerome, that the truck is probably going to get into the shop tomorrow. And that's something to remember too, guys and girls. Like, nothing's fast anymore. I got the truck in a day after the incident happened, and they couldn't fix it after 9 days. And then the truck sat. Here's the other thing. I had to get a different tow company to tow the truck because the company I hired never did it. So I got an email about a week and a half ago, 2 weeks ago, saying that my truck was going to be available, or my truck was the next truck to go into this shop. Well, then I got a phone call saying, hey, your truck's not here. And I said, what? Like, I hired somebody on Wednesday. I hired somebody basically 5 days before I got the email that my truck was next in line. I hired them 5 days prior to that, and they still hadn't towed the truck for me. So I had to call another company, and straighten frames every day, but you will bend a cross member first. Yeah, Butch, I'm sure there's lots of work that can be done. And I mean, I know it can be replaced. Thing is, I don't know how expensive something is like that. And I mean, if it's like I said, I'm already $5,500 into it. Um, my I don't have a big what do you call that? Uh, oh man, what do you call it when you have to pay your deductible? I don't have a big deductible to have my insurance take care of it, if they will take care of it. Um, because like I said, I still got a loan on the truck. I mean, if they want to total it out, I have the truck valued pretty high. It'll take care of it, and I can figure out where to go from there, or get it fixed. You know, I'll try and say hi to a couple of people. I'm really sorry. Um, Jaywalk says bending with Brendan, Brendan. Look it up. It will make you feel better and learn something. Okay, Jaywalk, great advice. I'll do that. I don't even have a notebook in this truck. I need to get a notebook in this truck. Jamie O was in the house. What up, Jamie O? Jamie O was in a live show last night that we were all watching. HI guy says, no way the frame is bent. If it is, you hit the curb on a really bad, yeah, I would have had to hit the curb in a very unique way. But I don't know what's causing. So this is hard to do. So this is the driver's side, right? The truck's sitting like this. I mean, there's like this much between the tire, the top of the steer tire, and the wheel well. Supposedly when they fixed the driver's side leaf spring that literally sheared in half, that lean went away. The reason they replaced the passenger side is supposedly they took it for a test drive. Well, DIY told me that my E-log did trip or show the truck moving, but only moved like for 3 minutes. That's not enough time in my mind to really do a like a road test. And the guy said that the truck was pulling hard to the passenger side. So he looked at it, sent me a picture, and I can see like that there was a little, what looked like a little bend in the leaf spring. It was hard for me to tell. I never got eyes on it. I did learn that I made some mistakes, but I also was in a position, there was no way for me to get to the truck. Like where I was in relation to the shop, there was no Uber, there was no cabs. Like I ended up paying almost as much for a cab ride to the airport than I did for my airline ticket. I think the airline ticket cost me like $40 more to fly home. And that was like an executive cab company. I mean, that bring people from the area I was in to Washington, D.C., like senators and congressmen. That's what I had to hire to get me to the airport. So I never got eyes on the truck. Supposedly he couldn't get the alignment straight. He told me at one time it was off like 10 degrees. And then like 2 days later, he's like, oh, I just can't fix it. It's as bad as it was when it showed up. And like I said, it's leaning like this. Like, I mean, it looks like a low rider on one side, or that I have hydraulics on the truck. You know what I mean? And have one end up and one end down. Jerome Jones says, does anyone know a good steer tire for a decent price? I have Yokohama steers on the Mac, and I like them. And they're the second set of steers that I've bought. I actually have an extra pair or an extra set of steer tires too in the shop. But I like Yokohama. I believe the International, if I remember right, has Michelin steers. If I remember right. I can't, it's been so long since I looked at that truck. I think the International has Michelin's. Not 100% sure. Oh, this trucking life's in the house. What's up? He watches the guy that HI was talking about. HI guy says, did he put the springs in backwards? That's a good question, HI. I don't know. I still, so the incident happened on a Friday. I got towed on Saturday morning to the shop. I have not seen my truck since that day. Hold on. That's probably pretty loud, me covering the mic. But yeah, HI guy, I've learned that I can't trust people to do things, and or like have faith in them to get it done, and not like be nosy and get on it. And I should have somehow tried to find a way to get to the truck and figure out. I mean, I'm an idiot when it comes to that kind of stuff, so I know I'm not a mechanic, but the mechanic and we had like this great relationship when everything started. He told me, hey man, sorry, it's going to be a couple of days before I can get the parts. I called all around the area I was in, 4 or 5 different states. Nobody had it. Well, then like he just quit communicating with me. And at that point, I should have just figured out a way to get to the shop. I don't know how I could have done it, but I probably should have put in more effort trying to get to the shop. Because I like that truck. And I got some ideas on what I want to do moving forward, and I need that truck. Or I need another truck to accomplish some of the goals that I have right now. Yeah. Say hi to a couple of guys. Oh, Wheel Burner, you're in the house. What up, man? How are you doing? I've missed so many comments. I apologize, guys. Daryl Worth says, are the springs the same? The springs have brought in a pair, or should have been bought in a pair. The springs have A+ or A- on it, and they should match. Okay, so the International springs are universal. That came directly from the dealership that I purchased the springs from. Because I said, oh, I need one for the driver's side and one for the passenger side. And he said, these leaf springs are universal. They can go on either side of your truck. Maybe that isn't the case, Daryl. I don't know. And maybe the shop will be able to figure that out. What's up, Wheel Burner? People saying hi. Jackknife TV's in the house. What up, brother? How are you? Just burning through Buffalo. Wheel Burners going through Buffalo. Buffalo, New York? Yeah, you're from Canada. So that'd be Buffalo, New York. Yeah, I don't know, man. I'm pretty, I don't know the right word. Like I don't know how to I'm a little bit nervous about the truck. I'm a little bit frustrated. Crazy Uncle BOC to repo truck from shop. Dang, BOC had to repo one of his trucks? Hire Crazy Uncle BOC to repo truck from shop. Yeah, I can just imagine calling that guy and being like, hey, go pick my truck up. That'd be YouTube gold though, because he would just make a joke out of it. He would probably do it though. It's actually not a bad idea. Call up the New England boy. But yeah, I want the truck back. I want it fixed. I want to figure out Stay positive, Scott. You're a boss. Nah, man, not yet. Anyways, I get what you're saying by that though, Roman. Thank you, or Ramen. Um, on the bright side, the Mac is running fantastic. Um, I'm glad to be back in this truck, and I think if I get the International fixed, this is gonna stay my truck for a while. I might figure out how to keep the International on the road with maybe hire a driver to help them out for a little bit to kind of get things even in their life again. But this isn't. I got a little bit of regret buying the International, to be honest with you. Not because it's an International, because I think I should have waited. You know, but it's kind of like when I look at loads. If I book a load and commit to doing something, I usually book loads based on what works for me. So if I agree to it, like I'm good with it. And I don't look at other loads and I don't look at maybe missed opportunities. Well, you know what? I drove a paid off truck for 2.5, well, 2 years. Took me half a year to pay this truck off. And I drove a truck with no truck payment for 2 years. Now I did spend a lot in maintenance last year. That was the catalyst for me getting the International. But maybe I should have held off on that purchase. You know, Spring International came out with them with the Pro Star and one leaf spring, good riding spring. Okay. That's something that I'll have to talk to the shop about. I will say that the shops, at least this shops kind of keeps you updated. They email you, and I have called multiple times and haven't been a nuisance, but just, hey, I'm calling to get an update, and they tell me what's going on. Tolga's in the house. What up, man? How are you? But yeah, I don't know. I'm already done for the night. It's kind of nice only working like 8.5 hour days. Now I know what you dry van guys feel like. Just kidding. Not trying to cause a war here between truckers, but I'm running all recaps. And what I want to do is I have some really good hours coming back. And I want at least every morning 10 hours of available work time, because my 70 is already gone. I mean, that was gone a few days ago. So I got 13 hours back this morning at midnight. I worked 8.5 hours. I get another 10 hours back at midnight tonight. So I could have made it all the way to the receiver that I deliver at tomorrow morning, but I'm only 90 miles away and I don't deliver until 8 in the morning. So if I get up at 1, I'll get there and relax. Ronald says, Scott, are you, hold on. Scott, or can you have both BOC and local guy trucker have some words of influence, the old time tactic? I don't know who local guy is. Should I know who that is, Ronald? I don't know local guy. I'm pretty sure Scott, thanks for asking. Just finished my readings. Okay. Jackknife is laughing. I started at 2 a.m. and just finished. I'm stuck at a rest area, if you want to call it that, off of Highway I-80. Oh, are you over in are you actually at a service plaza, or are you in Pennsylvania in one of their rest areas? CJ Hudson says, sell them both, get something newer. Just a thought. Listen, like, I'm not comfortable spending $150,000 on a new truck. I'm just not comfortable with that. I don't want the payment. I mean, just because you buy something new, it doesn't mean you're gonna, Jackknife. Check out Jackknife. He did that video the other day, leaking coolant, and I watched somebody else, I forget who I was watching the other day, brand new truck, and I think their transmission already went out. The International has low miles. The max getting up there, I have like 650,000 miles on this truck now, but this truck runs great. And a lot of work's been done to it. So hopefully the life is extended in this truck a little bit. But yeah, CJ, I mean, that's not a bad idea, to be honest with you. I'm not comfortable with that big of a purchase, especially right now. And even if things were on fire, I don't think I could allow myself to do that. Jackknife TV says, didn't local guy, isn't he the one that pulled his shirt off on live feed and was throwing things out of the truck and 4x4? Jackknife's talk to text. I don't understand what you're saying, brother. I don't know who local guy is. If I should, I apologize, but I don't know who that is. I obviously know who BOC is. You should have told the International to a dealer you broke a spring. I can't see that being that hard to fix. IH guy, I called 2 International dealerships and that were kind of near where I was. I called a 4-state area of International dealerships. None of them had the leaf spring, for one. They ordered it for me and they were out like 2.5 weeks. Now, mind you, at the time this happened, I thought the only thing that needed to be replaced was the leaf spring. So I found a shop that could do it. They told me next day, but the airfare, or not the airfare, we didn't get the leaf spring for like 3 days. So I did call multiple International dealerships. Matter of fact, I just called one the other day to see if they could tell me a shop that dealt with frames in the area my truck was, and they gave me 2 names, and one of the names is the place the truck is at. The other name they gave me was the shop that I first called that referred me to the shop the truck's at now. So, holy cow, this guy's finally moving again. So there's a guy that blew a tire on 90 that I drove by today, and I saw him in the bay at the Loves that I'm at, and that was at like 3 o'clock this afternoon. What time is it? 6 o'clock? 6:15? Wow, that took forever to change a tire. But yeah, HI guy, I mean, I don't know what else I could have really done. And here's the thing, I really wasn't near like an International dealership. The 2 that were the closest to me, they couldn't help me. The one that was in Pennsylvania that my truck has been at before, they're the ones that helped me. Jackknife TV says, I'm in Jersey. I had a delivery in New York. That's right, dude. I watched your video yesterday. How was that delivery? You posted a video was that this morning or late last night? And you were talking about going into New York City. And you were saying that you used to go into one of the islands when you hauled what do you call those, poles? Ronald says, Just Trucking has shut down his authority. Probably get a good price for his truck. Yeah, right. Damn, he shut down his authority? I can't see Justin doing that. Maybe he did, though. Maybe he did. You know what? He doesn't, I mean, I don't think you get mad at me saying this. Like, he doesn't need to truck. You know what I mean? He's doing other things. And if trucking isn't what he wants to do and he shuts it down, so be it. That truck's probably going to be pretty damn expensive, though. He just did a rebuild on it not that long ago. This Trucking Life says, trade both for down payment. A new Cascadia, just got to get the warranty, massive payment, and massive fuel savings. I already get great fuel savings, and I'm competing against other Cascadias in the fleet that is at the carrier I belong to. Good truck, don't get me wrong. Cascadia, over the life of it's probably gonna get better fuel economy than my truck, without a doubt. Without a doubt. Truck will make it 1.2 easy. I hope so. I hope so. Ronald says local guy is from Enfield, Connecticut, who had a YouTube channel and was made a fool of from his channel. Oh, okay. Well, Ronald, I kind of make a fool out of myself on my YouTube channel. HI guy says, at this trucking life, Cascadias aren't worth it. Why not, HI guy? I think I've shared the reason I chose the International with the Cummins motor. One, the torque. Evidently, I have to talk about torque every time I mention Cummins. But I have a couple of shops near my home that work on Cummins motors, and I haven't had to bring it to one of those shops yet, but I just wanted the availability to get work done at my house instead of 3.5 hours away. I have a shop that I bring the Mac to, but like I said, it's 3.5 hours away from my house. I trust that shop. They've always done good work for me. Problem is they're 3.5 hours away. Ronald, that's where they came from. That's exactly where my springs came from. That's so funny, you know that. So what, little backstory, there's a spring shop in Delaware that I contacted. They're the ones that told me to contact the shop that you just mentioned. And that's who got me the parts. I called the International dealership and got the part number that I needed from them, and then called the shop you're talking about, or gave the phone number to the shop to have them call and order it. Butch says, getting up there in miles, I'm going to roll 2.5 million on mine next week if I don't hit a curb. Yeah, don't hit a curb. That is crazy. 2.5 million miles. Is that like probably, you have like 2 rebuilds done, or like something like that probably? Or you probably drive like a Series 60, I'm assuming. Because I know DIY's Freightliner Columbia has over 1 million miles on it. And every time I've driven that truck is a freaking beast, man. I really like Big Orange, DIY's truck. Edwards in the house says, good afternoon, brother. Running late here. Rained and hailed like crazy, rolling through Oklahoma into Arkansas on the 40 East. They get all the road construction done over there. It's been a while since I rolled through that area. I run one lane. I mean, I run Midwest to the East Coast and then up the New England seaboard, if you call it that. You know what I mean? Up into Connecticut, Massachusetts, Rhode Island, and then right back down to South Jersey, and then back to the Midwest. That's what I run. Lately, I'm running, hold on. How do I do this? You don't want to hear me coughing. I ate a Frisco burger today. That was a mistake. I'm out of food. I need to go to a grocery store or a Walmart or something. Well, I'm gonna be home Saturday, so I'll just replenish my food on Saturday. I did end up finding a load. If you watch my video the other day about working the spot market, I'm kind of running loads from Minnesota to Wisconsin into Chicago, back to Minnesota. So I'm staying more regional based, or more, I mean, I'm driving like 500 miles a day, 450. Call it, you could almost call it local. I mean, I'm not home every night, but you know, I'm not leaving like a 3-4 state area. I did end up finding a load out of Chicago tomorrow that gets me back to Minnesota for a Saturday morning delivery. You want to hear a funny story about that? I was sleeping and like I was having a dream about the freaking DAT load board. Like that's not even a joke. And like in the dream, somebody yelled, "Wake up, check the DAT load board." So I woke up, I grabbed my phone, I checked DAT, Chicago to Minnesota for Friday, 0 loads. There was 0 loads. I hit the refresh button and 1 load popped up. Oh, that's another thing I should talk about. Some people talked about, hey, take dry freight out of Chicago back to Minnesota. My search, when I search DAT, I do reefer of all types, so dry vans included. And I called like 4 dry loads that would not load a reefer trailer. I don't know why, because the weights weren't heavy. They just wouldn't load a reefer trailer. But I ended up finding a load that gets me home. I think I'll be able to spend a night at home, maybe 2, which will be nice. Yes, HI guide. They did put both leaf springs in and the U-bolts. That was a problem we ran into. They sent the leaf springs, but didn't send the U-bolts. So I tracked down 1 pair from a different, it's kind of a long story. Like the shop that had my truck, I just don't think was equipped to like, I think they work on like local trucks, you know what I mean? And the local, like good old boys, you know what I mean? For the area I was, that's how they were. I'm a Yankee from the North, you know what I mean? Like, and they treated me that way. I saw a lot of resemblance I'm from northern Minnesota. So I saw a lot of resemblance in how they kind of looked at an out of towner is how we kind of looked at out of towners when I was growing up. But yes, they did put the springs in. Doc Holiday's in the house. What up, Doc? How are you, man? New trucks don't mean good. Oh, I mean, new trucks have problems too. Like I said, check out Jackknife's video from the other day. I mean, he just had to tighten some clamps, but he was leaking coolant. He's had some issues with his truck already, and that's a brand new Kenworth. Brand spanking new. That was clickbait, I think. What was clickbait? Oh, just trucking, maybe selling his truck. Jackknife TV says you're really out in the middle of nowhere. That peninsula is like a no man's land. It's just a place for farms and some rich people that live outside DC. Yeah, where I was is out in the middle of nowhere. I mean, they have a town there, but the town's like a tourist town. So like nothing was really open. They weren't in season when I was there. CJ Hudson says, Cascadia, good truck. Don't get me wrong, but once I have a Cummins, you can't go back. Yeah, I mean, a lot of trucks that I've driven in my 25-year career have been the Cummins motors, Cummins and Cat. Those have been the 2 biggest motors of the trucks that I've driven. Minus, I did have a Series 60 for a while and an old Western Star. But I like Cummins. And they seem, anytime I used to have breakdowns as a company driver, they were fixed pretty quickly. LOL, Butch Savage. Oh, is Butch being savage with that? I can't remember that guy's name. Local guy. Yeah, I don't know who that is. So please don't share this with him and have him think I'm making fun of him or something, because I don't even know who the guy is. Cents per mile says, yo, I'm in Minnesota. Where you at? I am not in Minnesota. I am in Illinois right now. Cents per mile. Where in Minnesota are you going? Maybe we'll cross paths. I will be heading back towards Minnesota tomorrow. Jackknife TV says, last night I'll edit some video. I got a bunch of footage of actually driving through the city, not Manhattan, but still Staten Island and etc. Yeah, that's cool, man. You should post that stuff. I remember watching Nevada. Kyle posted a video of when he went to New York. Where did he go? Hunts Point? I think Kyle went to Hunts Point and he vlogged like the whole trip and was showing the bridges to like go under and how to get there. That was pretty cool. Yeah, Wheel Burner. I mean, I haven't even read your comment yet, but I saw 2 of your videos that I haven't watched yet. I'm sorry, buddy. I know you're having problems with your truck too, so let me read this comment real quick. My 2020 Cascadia will probably be going up for sale next month, Scott. 450,000 miles plus warranty. Just dangling it, just dangling the carrot. Now that's more miles than I want, Wheel Burner. I wanted a truck that had no more than like 300,000 miles on it. And at the time when I purchased my truck, Cascadias with 500,000 miles were still like $95,000. I had no interest in that. This Cummins, this International, had everything I wanted. It had a little bit more than 300,000 miles. I think it had 320. And the price they were asking for it, in my mind, was very steep. So I called and talked to the salesman for like 3 days and talked them down to a price that I was comfortable at and said, if I fly out there, this is the price. I can bring X amount of dollars and we can sign the paperwork. And that's what happened. HI guy says, Fate or F8, if they change the springs and they say it's not just drive it home to your dealer. Well, I can't drive it home. I don't know how to explain this, guys. Like, if I hit a bump, I'm ripping, like, my tire is going through the wheel well. Like, there's like this much room. You know what, HI guy? Man, you don't need to if you don't want to, but I made a video probably a month ago now is when it happened. It's called John Wick Destroyed My Truck or something, because I was going to see the movie John Wick. But you'll see the thumbnail. It's the tow truck backing up to my truck. Watch that video and you'll see the lean I'm talking about. It's absolutely crazy. Like I said, it looks like my truck's a lowrider. I gotta charge my phone. Oh, now it's gonna pull on my phone. No, whatever. Oh, you live 20 miles from it. Ronald knew that spring shop because he lives 20 miles from it. Jason's in the house. What's going on? You're sitting in Toma, huh, Jason? You waiting to get into Walmart? This trucking life. That's the truck I want to get if I was to start again with a paid off truck. That would be a Columbia with a Detroit Series 60. Yeah, this trucking life, this is just not working. My battery's gonna die, but hold on. So entertaining, I know. Yeah, they're good trucks, this trucking life. The thing is, and I think DIY or somebody that has more knowledge than me would tell you, like, they require a lot of maintenance. A lot of maintenance. And when you think about buying a truck, unless you're buying like a glider kit, you're buying a truck that's super old. Bad wiring, all kinds of stuff. Talk to DIY about that. Because he actually kind of talked me out of that direction, because that's the direction I was thinking of going. And he talked me out of it. How do I say that? Because I don't want to put words in his mouth. He talked me out of it through conversations that we had. He didn't say, don't buy that truck. He just said, hey, if you buy it, it's going to be a lot of work. I personally am not super mechanical. That's one downside about me being an owner operator. And I was a company guy for so many years that I don't know how to really work on the trucks. I have to learn how to do that. Barry, good evening. How are you, buddy? Just finished your day of work. Well, enjoy your night. Tolga and Barry are saying hi. I feel excellent. Ronald says, next time you break down in the New England area, I have a good mechanic, good and fast and fair on cost. Okay, that's good to know. I'll just reach out. Does Crazy Uncle BOC know how to get a hold of you? I'll reach out to him. HI, if they change the spring and it's not right, bring it home and let a dealer inspect it. Yeah, that's a good idea. I mean, that's what I'm going to have to do, HI guy. I'm going to have to, well, I have two options. There is, so I think it was Jackknife that told me this. I had some work done at a shop in a city called North Philadelphia. And I said, oh, I'm going to North Philly. And people are like, why the hell are you going there? I had work done at a shop, an international shop in a city called North Philadelphia. Not being from that area, I thought I was going to North Philly. That only makes sense. If you go to Northeast Minneapolis, you're in Northeast Minneapolis. Anyways, that shop did a fantastic job the one time I had to stop there. So I think what I would do is if this shop can't fix it, I'll get it towed to that shop and I'll fly out there for a couple of days. That way I can really inspect the truck, have them tell me face to face what's going on versus phone calls and take it from there. Jackknife TV says, dude, if you're having dreams about the DAT low board, you need a vacation. I was having a dream about the DAT load board. You know when you fall asleep and you're really like not asleep? You know what I mean? That's like the stage I was at. Because I had already slept. I've been working really weird hours. So I had already taken like a 3.5 hour nap. So I wasn't really tired. I was just forcing myself to lay back down. And yeah, I probably do need a vacation. I just canceled my fishing opener trip today. I don't know how I feel about that. Because I wanted to be an owner operator to do more stuff. And what I mean by that is like have the time to do more stuff. And that just really hasn't been the case. If I wouldn't have wasted 11 days sitting in a hotel, then I would go on the fishing trip. But I wasted 11 days of revenue sitting in a hotel thinking my truck was going to get done every other day, telling me it was going to be finished. That, yeah, I had to cancel my fishing trip today. Which I'm not happy about. Barry says the shop you were in was not properly prepared to do the job you needed is the kindest way I can say it. Barry, you're absolutely right. And I kind of mentioned that to him after the lack of communication, after he had made a comment about, well, yeah, the part's here and we'll get it done tomorrow. And I was like, what? Like, why can't we get it done now? And like, it's 9 o'clock in the morning. Why push it off till tomorrow? I'm sitting here in a hotel. And he didn't respond to me for a few hours. And then he responded to me, and him and I had some words. And it just, I wasn't an asshole. Like, I don't, sometimes I am an asshole. I should be careful because I can be a prick. But I was just direct with him. Like, man, what are you doing? And that completely stopped everything, Barry. Like the minute I confronted him and said, dude, you run a business, like stop giving me excuses. Like give me solutions. My truck's there because your business says you can fix it. So give me solutions, not excuses. And then he hit me with, I'm not the one that hit the curb, Scott. Well, now we're just fucking done, bro. Like you talk to me like that. And I mean, that's what it was. And we had some words about his payment, and I have a buddy that happens to be an attorney, and I reached out to him and said, can you draw up a threatening letter for me? And he did. And I emailed it to him, and, you know, I was comfortable with the price that I ended up paying. I'll say that. Reed's in the house. Hey, Fate, do you do any OTR work prior to becoming an owner operator, or were you always local? I did a little bit of OTR as a company driver. I did a lot of local work, but then I also was like sent to different markets throughout the country. So I'd go spend time. I would fly from Minnesota to like Denver, work out in Colorado for a few months, fly back home, then down to like Miami. I had very little OTR before I became an owner operator. Probably like a year, all in, year and a half of a 22-year driving career. Cents per mile says, I will be leaving Rochester tomorrow, heading home to Madison. Oh man. Well, you're probably going to be in Madison before I get up there. My pickup isn't until like 2:30 in the afternoon in the Chicagoland area. Ghost Town's in the house. I don't recognize your name, but welcome. Nice to see you. Thanks for stopping by here. I appreciate it. Jackknife TV says, I don't know if this PACCAR doesn't really give me too many problems. I think I might be sold on them. Only time will tell. I can't beat 9 to 10 miles per gallon, and I can at least put all the other plastic trucks, and I can at least pull all the other plastic trucks. Oh, pull. I get it, Jackknife. So PACCAR, the company I used to work for before I became an owner operator, they solely had Kenworths. And I want to say it was like 2018, maybe 2017. We got a bunch of new trucks in, and they were all PACCAR motors. And the only problem that I ever had with a PACCAR motor, and this might be something you experience, because I know where you live, is in very cold weather. And when I say very cold, I'm talking like minus 20. The truck wouldn't start. I mean, even if you plugged it in overnight, the truck wouldn't start. It took forever to get them to crank. That was the only problem that I had with the PACCARs. And once again, I was a company guy. I don't know anything about them. Wheel Burner Express says, did you even get to go see John Wick? I did go see John Wick that night. After the incident, I was right by a strip mall that I was heading to that had the movie theater. So I parked the truck in the strip mall. This lighting's horrible. I should get my towel. That might work. I did see John Wick. It was absolutely fantastic. Hold on a second. All right, let the jokes begin. Come on, you son of a... boom. There we go. That's better. I like that. But yeah, let the jokes begin. Jackknife TV says, my old 2014 PACCAR was a POS. Well, not really the engine, but the emissions. Yes, the emissions are tough on every truck, man. Like, I know some have better, I can't think of the word, but emissions suck. I mean, they suck. Barry, hey Siri, find a river near me that will accept an international LT. Yeah, that's hilarious, Barry. Thanks for making me laugh, man. No, I'm not giving up on that truck. And like I said, it's my fault. The reason the truck is broke down is because I I I didn't react to the situation the proper way. Somebody with my experience should not have reacted the way I did. I'll say this. I was on the phone. I was on the phone with somebody. Well, we already talked about it. I was on the phone with DIY, just like this. This probably played a role. Like it probably did. Oh, great. Now I got to delete this. Jason says Home Depot load of lumber. I used to deliver to Menards a lot with the company I used to work for. Couple of times Home Depots, but mainly Menards. Snorlord, the Metalhead Viking Caveman Trucker. Battery death is imminent. Yes, but I just plugged it in and I got the phone to work properly. Thanks for stopping by here, Snorlord. I always, well, not always, probably 90% of the time I catch your morning live shows. I actually look forward to them, man, because you're the only one that goes live that early in the morning. And us reefer guys are already like have been on duty for like 6-7 hours at that time. So I appreciate it. Pooh? Pooh? Did I get your name right? What is the best GPS tracker for semi truck? Are you talking about a GPS? Like I have a Garmin. Um, that's the only GPS I've ever used. If you're talking about something that tracks the truck, I don't know. I mean, your ELD tracks the truck. You know what I mean? But I use Garmin. Oh, is that what they're called? GPS tracker? Or am I missing something? Jackknife TV says the best GPS tracker you can buy will be the one you can easily hide and doesn't cost you a lot of money. I know that I know they got ones that replace tail lights and turn signals, but I'm pretty sure they're caught. Man, they actually, okay. I didn't even know that. Is that kind of like a AirTab, right? Is that what tracks you or tracks like you can put an AirTab on something? Am I saying that right? Doesn't Apple make an AirTab? Dude, I'm only 42. I should know more about freaking technology. I don't. HI guy says the days of the Columbia, they were junk. Oh, were they? I didn't know that. Pooh says, thanks, Jackknife. Stuart the Hobby Trucker's in the house. I can say I have been burnt this week. Everybody worried about rates and volume, and it's been made apparent to me we have much bigger issues in the industry, and 99% of carriers have no rights at all. I thought there was some law that just, oh my God, don't hit me. Sorry, he's empty so he can see what he's doing. This guy's a professional. Yeah, he's a professional. Those trailers got to be hard to turn. He's got a low boy, but it looks like he dumped his rear axle. But still, just watching how that trailer turns, that's got to be kind of a tough trailer. I thought there was just some law that passed, Stuart, that actually I'm not 100% in favor of, but it gives more rights to the carrier on like broker transparency, which I don't get how they're going to enforce it or anything, and I don't even care. Like I said, I haul loads. If I book a load, it's because I agreed to it. You know what I mean? And I don't worry about it after that. Ronald says there has to be a good shop out there in Richmond, Virginia area. Yeah, I'll find. I mean, if this place doesn't work out, I'm gonna have to figure out what to do. I like what HI says. probably just get the truck home. But like I said, there's that shop in North Philadelphia, an international shop that I really like. They were top notch. Butch says you should have took that shop owner up on his deal for staying in the truck. Yeah, I probably should have, but I was out in the middle of nowhere. I was out in the middle of nowhere. Oh, Shannon Thomas Trucking's in the house saying, "Good evening, Fate Macaroni. Everyone from Virginia. How are you doing, Shannon? How are you doing?" Tolga's saying hi. Now put the shop on blast. I don't want to. I know that sounds ridiculous, but I really can't for a couple of reasons. And one of them's because, well, I just can't. I just can't. Wheel Burner Express says, before you tow your truck anywhere else, explore the cost of may be putting it on a float. Would probably be cheaper. Hold on. Before you tow your truck anywhere else, explore the cost of maybe putting it on a float would probably be cheaper. Are you talking about putting it on a barge and letting it just sail down in the ocean? Is that what you're talking about, Wheel Burner? Okay. Jackknife TV says Peter Springs. That sounds like a troll name. That would be a great troll name. Somebody create that. Peter Springs. Peter Springs in Baltimore. I've heard they've done good work. Also, there's Hagerstown Spring Works in Hagerstown, Maryland. It'll be cheaper than any dealership. I contacted that spring shop in Hagerstown, Maryland. That was the first place that I contacted when I found out I had to get my truck out of the shop it was at. And then I found this shop that actually has, like the machine with lasers that diagnoses if the frame's actually bent. There's no way that frame's bent, guys. Like, the steer tire didn't even blow. The freaking rim didn't. It's an aluminum rim. Like, I mean, I know they're thicker aluminum, but it's freaking aluminum. If you're telling me a frame bent and an aluminum rim didn't, and all like the tie rods and all that didn't bend, now maybe one of those bent and the shop that it was at couldn't diagnose that properly. That is still something that's possible. They told me the axle was fine. But I also don't trust the first shop that truck was at. So whatever they told me, I don't really trust them. I mean, I don't trust them at all, to be honest with you. Cents per mile says we may cross paths. I gotta put a new steer tire on and do an alignment before I head that way. Yeah, well, I have your phone number, right? We exchanged emails. Let's get in touch with each other tomorrow. Shannon Thomas Trucking says, Fate, have you been to this TA in Rapin, Virginia? It's awesome. They have everything. Is that the one? Wait a minute. No, I don't think I've been to that one. I thought it was a Petro. But what's the other one that's in Virginia? Are you off of, is it 81? Are you off of 81, Shannon? But no, I don't think I've been to that one. And I used to go to Virginia quite a bit. Bring back Towley. Yeah, Towley's back. Also, I know of two other good spring shops. There are also Interstate Springs that's near. Okay, I will Jackknife, I'll get a hold of you too. I got your phone number. I'll get a hold of you too in the coming days when I figure out what the hell's going on. And who knows, maybe the shop that the truck's at now will be like the saving grace. You know what I mean? That's a possibility. Um, you know, I could play it off like I'm defeated. I just wish I could figure out what's wrong with the truck. I'm not defeated at all. I'm just, stressed isn't even the right word. I'm just a little like blah on it because I don't know what to do because nobody's giving me a definite reason for why the truck is the way it is. Once I get the reasoning, or at least a educated guess on the reasoning, then I have options. Right now, I don't have options in my mind. Like, that's how I'm viewing it. Jackknife TV says, hey, you got 2 trucks now. Why don't you see if you can rent a tow rig? Dude, that's a smart idea too, Jackknife. Hold on. Man, my sinuses are all messed up. Scott, the actual name is Ferrari Spree. Oh, the shop? Springworks Ferguson is the plumber supplier. Well, I know my springs came out of Massachusetts because I had to order them and get them overnighted from Springfield, Massachusetts. Problem was, they didn't show up overnight. The guy placed the order Friday afternoon and they got picked up Saturday and didn't arrive to the shop until I think Monday afternoon, or maybe it was Tuesday. I don't remember, but they came out of Springfield, Massachusetts. Edward says, Justin on Just Trucking says it's time to go specialize. Not sure he means loads or something else. Haven't watched it yet. Yeah, I mean, everybody's got their opinions, Edward. Like, that's the thing. You got to figure out what works for you. You know what I mean? Just because something doesn't work for one person doesn't mean it doesn't work for the others. And I think Justin has been very open, especially in the last like 6 months, about what he wants in life, right? Like, he wants to get his kids to school. He wants to be a good dad. Like, he operates, once again, I don't think you get mad at me saying this. He operates different than maybe the normal guy has to. You know what I mean? And I think anybody that thinks he's got some business savvy to him. I mean, just look at him. You know what I mean? Look at what he's able to accomplish with the things that he does. He's not an idiot by any means. And you remember that Volvo he had where he made that grill? That's like the guy is talented. You know what I mean? So I'm sure if he's saying specialize, he's probably got a reason why he says that. You know what I mean? Or maybe he's going to go a different direction. Who knows? Cheap freight haulers in the house. Good evening, everybody. Sorry I'm late. What'd I miss? Nothing really, except the International should be in the shop sometime tomorrow. That's really the only update. They're going to get it in the shop tomorrow and hopefully diagnose what's wrong with it and then get a hold of me. Excuse me. Barry says, don't beat yourself up over the mistake. Accidents happen. There were no injuries. John Wick still got a view. John Wick still got a view on his movie and the carrier didn't fire you. Acknowledge means more than you pay for it. Yeah, well, I believe in accountability, Barry. And I preach that to my children, and I mean, my daughters are older now, but I'm a big believer in accountability. I've made mistakes in my life, and I always was blaming other people for my mistakes. My life did not change until I took accountability for my actions, my behavior, my thoughts, my attitude, all that. And when I applied that into my life and acknowledging when I make mistakes or when I F something up, that like kind of that changed my whole philosophy on like the pursuit, this stupid quote, the pursuit of like happiness. What does it mean to be happy? You can have a lot of things around you bring you down, but you can still be happy. And that's how I am, man. And sometimes it's to a fault. I shared that in my video yesterday. I'm definitely an optimist, and sometimes it's to a fault. And that's why I get taken advantage of too sometimes. You know what I mean? Like that's a reality. Tolga says it's called a AirTag, I guess, but he's probably talking about a different device via some technology base. Okay, for that GPS tracker. Call me Cooley. Yeah, that was the topic on my live this morning. Oh, I'll have to check that out. I stopped in on your live this morning, and then I woke up super early. I woke up at like 1 o'clock this morning and drove like 4.5, 5 hours. So I slept for like 3.5 hours this morning. Uh, Stuart says, put the link up. I want to explain this crazy situation I am in and get some thoughts and opinions. Put the link up. I don't know how to put the link up, Stuart. Oh, this link. Okay. Yeah. Let me see if I can do that. Hold on. How do I do this? Did that work? I don't know if that worked. Yeah, got plenty of shops in Virginia. Okay, I'll have to get a hold of you too, maybe, Cooley, if you don't mind. I'm gonna bring Stuart in real quick.
What's
Yo,
up?
you there? How are
I'm here,
you?
man. I've had better weeks. I've had better weeks. Okay, I'm going to go through the whole story and tell me where you think as a carrier or anything we could do better, or where my rights are, because I'm at a dead end.
Can I say something real quick?
Yep.
I know nothing about being a carrier.
Anyone in the chat? Anyone in
Okay.
the chat? It's a little bit
Okay.
long-winded. Give me a couple of minutes. So last Friday, I picked up a load. Okay. It's wall paneling, like the 8x4 wall paneling, like about 3-5 millimeters thick. I picked up a load of that. It was about 2,000 sheets. I sat on it over the weekend. I went up to New Jersey Sunday night and got to Home Depot to deliver. They refused to unload it. They're saying that they can't unload the product. What's happened is so they laid it down on its back. So like the 8-foot section is like the width of the trailer. And some of the sheets have gone to the left, some of the sheets have gone to the right. Well, the problem is, okay, there was no way to strap it down because it was nearly 100 inches wide. This stuff between the wall and the product was I could maybe fit my knuckle in down the side at best. So there's no way to stop it from side to side. At the back of the door, there is a lip, so they can't get the product out without, the green banding straps they put around pallets, without cutting each individual packet open and unloading all 2,000 sheets by hand. On that note, the receiver put load refused, poorly strapped packaging, causing the load to shift, impossible to unload without damaging product. That's what they've written on the thing. So the product isn't
Holy
damaged.
shit.
So now I call the broker, explain the situation. They can't find anyone to repackage it. While they're looking, I call Home Depot. I go back into Home Depot and say, hey, look, if I get this reworked, will you take it? No, we're not going to take the product if it's reworked. So I'm like, strange, right? She then goes on to say, well, that's opening Pandora's box. You could potentially damage the product in restacking it, blah, 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 and sort of just like pawned me off. Anyway, I go to a rest area and sit there since last night. Last night, the broker finally says the shipper has decided for you to ship it back to Alabama.
Where you picked it up from?
Where I picked it up from, yeah, from New Jersey. Okay. So now I'm in a situation. He's like, well, I'm like, I've sat there for 2 days. So I'm like, well, I'm going to start generally heading in that direction. Okay. But we need to talk rates. I'm maybe 2 hours down the road. I email the broker, call him and say, hey, what's the deal here? We need to talk rates. I'm not going to move this for free. He comes back and says, well, the shipper's refusing to pay for shipping back until they've seen the product. We need a gentleman's agreement here. I'm like, I went off on him. I'm going to leave the language out, but pretty much it was who runs a business on a gentleman's agreement. Every time I did that, I would be a millionaire, but I got burnt. You know what I'm saying? So I gave him hell, right? Now I'm in a situation. I spoke to the carrier. The carrier spoke to the insurance agent, and the insurance agent has pretty much said, well, the product's not damaged. They really can't file a claim. But in the same sense, I can't leave this product on here unlimited amount of time until they agree to a price, right? So now I'm taking it back. I'm meant to meet, and I've said, look, I'm not dropping it off until the insurance agent has seen this. He can meet me at the loading facility where I picked it up from. They can see how they load stuff, because I think it was meant to go on a flatbed, and I think what's happened is the broker has put it on a van to try and save some money, but you can't get downward pressure to stop the stuff from sliding, right? So I think he was trying to save some money, and it's come back and bit them in the ass. So now, long and short of it is, it's technically not our product. They're refusing to pay to ship it back. So I could technically sit on it and say, hey, I'm not moving this truck till we come to an agreement. But what's going to happen is the broker is now going to probably blacklist us for holding the stuff hostage until we come up with an agreement. But I'm not holding it hostage. I just need an agreement in place before I take it back. When you sign a carrier packet, most of the time I can't even salvage it, right? You know, you waive your rights in most of these carrier packets to salvaging the load. So I can't even go and sell the product and get my money back out of it. And this is all legally, right? And this is what I was saying in the comment. You know, we're worried about rates and volumes. How about you just signed all your rights away now? I can't sit here, with this load in my trailer indefinitely. I have no rights. I'm pretty much bent over a barrel by the broker and the shipper.
Let me just interrupt you real quick. You do have some rights, and the only reason I know that is I've heard DIY talk about those rights before. I wish I had my other phone with me, because I would call him. Let me see if he's commented. I'm scrolling all the way down right now. I don't see him.
And I get the carrier I'm leased onto. I understand their stance is he doesn't want me doing something because that the broker's going to put a bad comment on 411 and we're going to get blacklisted from a handful of brokers, right? So we're now in a situation where, I'm really very limited on what I can do. And, other than play the long game.
Sorry, I'm trying to read some comments.
It's cool, man. It's cool. I mean, I just don't know what to do at this point,
So Call Me Cooley, who is a carrier, says, I get where he's coming from. Threaten to donate it. They have to account for it for tax purposes. They will fold. So he's saying if you threaten the broker to donate the product, which you could call like, what do you call that? Houses for Humanity, or the reuse center, stuff like that. I'm not saying you should do this. I'm just saying, he's saying if you threaten them, they have to account for the loss of that product on their taxes.
The problem is that threat's already been made. The problem is if I follow through with that threat, okay, the broker is going to then report that to carrier 411. I mean, this carrier's got 15 trucks. If he's got something like that on his 411 report, how many brokers are not going to work with him? You know
I really wish DIY was still in here, because I know he's got insight on this.
Yeah.
And like, this happened to me. Not the same. I mean, very similar story. Happened to me with a load of like orange juice or apple juice or something. And somehow DIY was able to work it out to where I did return it to the shipper against like the shipper's wanting me to return it. And I know he was able to do it because there is some rights. I mean, just don't know what those are.
This is the crazy thing. The shipper wants it back because no one else will take it, right? But they're refusing to pay.
Yeah, that doesn't make sense.
Yeah, they're saying we need to see the products first. Even though they have pictures, they want to have the pictures first to verify that it's not driver error. And I'm like, what driver error could there be? I can't strap it down. The only way to stop that stuff from sliding, right, is downward pressure. Them boards are so slick. You know, I guess the argument is, well, why did the driver take it in the first place? That's going to be their only argument. Is, well, why did the driver take it in the first place? I mean, I thought that, you know, they had it banded, I guess, widthways, the forefoot section, not the widthways across the trailer, you know?
Just by the way you talk, I hope you don't take offense to this. Just tell them you're a foreigner and you didn't understand.
maybe that's what I speak no English. So,
yeah, no, Stuart, that I can't believe you're going through that. And like I said, I wish DIY was in here, and I'm not saying he could solve the problem, but I know there's some recourses that carriers have some rights. Like I said, though, I know nothing about being a carrier. So Robert B says it's all the shipper's fault. They loaded it. So that's a great point, Barry. You made the point, Stuart. Well, the driver they shouldn't have loaded it. Like the shipper shouldn't have loaded it.
It's a packaging issue, right? That they should have put, you know, everyone that's seen the pictures has said they should have at least put that green banding to hold it to the pallets. I guess if you want to call it lengthways or heightways on the 8-foot section. And then that was never on there. And so it coulda, shoulda, woulda. I mean, I saw the banding. I was like, okay, well, it's secured to the pallet. I can't put anything on the sides as far as a ratchet strap or anything. I can't fit anything down there, so I'm sort of screwed on that in that department. You know, they're calling for a dry van, so they're loading a dry van, no questions asked. So obviously the product goes in a dry van, and the crazy thing is the product isn't even damaged. It's not the fact, you know, the product isn't damaged. It's the fact that Home Depot was too damn lazy to unload it by hand. And so now it has to go back, and now they're trying to say that's a driver fault or a carrier fault. I'm like, that's craziness. You know what I'm saying? Absolute craziness.
Dan says,
part of me wants to just go home and just sit on it and drop the trailer in my driveway and be like, you know what, I'm doing power only till we come up to an agreement. You know, I'm not going to lose income over it, and just be like, you know what, I'm not holding it. I'm not holding hostage, but we, you know, legally, surely we don't have to do anything until we come to an agreement.
So my understanding, and once again, I'm merely talking out of my rear end here. Somebody quote me on this. Every time your truck is loaded and you are driving down the road with product in your truck, you need paperwork explaining what the product is and the destination. So technically, legally,
I tried that angle already for a rate confirmation. They did end up sending me a bill of lading going from New Jersey to Alabama. So they did email me that after me fighting it, because I said, "Well, I'm just the DOT pulls me over." You know, what am I meant to say? You know, So I did fight that angle, and I was doing it more for the rate confirmation, saying, well, I need a rate confirmation at this point, something. And they wouldn't. They hit. Look, I get it. The broker doesn't want to take a hit. We don't want to take a hit. The shipper doesn't want to take a hit. But I feel like, what am I meant to do here?
Well, it's the shipper. It's the shipper's responsibility. I mean, that's why I know DIY. If somebody's in this chat and has DIY's number, call them and tell them to come back to this live show. Because I know he's got information, and at least I remember him talking about this kind of stuff. Because I know there is recourses for a carrier, because carriers have to be protected from this exact situation.
But
man, that sucks.
But it's also doing it in a way where the broker's not going to blacklist you, right? Or not blacklist me I guess it is blacklist me. I don't want to, because, the carrier's got multiple trucks, and, if they put a bad remark up on carrier 411 or something like that, it's could be a big hit to business. And this is where I'm saying, and that's why I said earlier, carriers have apps. How many people sign a carrier packet and never read it? And you know what the kicker was? The only reason I went up to Jersey, it was because there was some show freight coming out of Manhattan that was paying me $6.75 a mile down to, and it's like, I had to piss that customer off. You know what I'm saying? It's because of this. So it was one of them situations to where I just, all around I got burnt big time.
Yeah.
And it's still going on.
Well, I hope it gets solved. I wish I knew or had tactics. Like, I'm not big on threatening, but like threatening at like, oh shoot. You still there, Stuart? Stuart, you still there? All right.
There you go. I'm back.
Are you back?
I'm
All
back.
right.
Sorry, I fat fingered it.
That's all right. Yeah, I was just saying, I wish I had answers or knew the right language to say. I like Cooley said, threaten them, which sounds like you already did. This Trucking Life made a comment about tell the broker you're going to claim it on their bond. The only problem with that is you need proof that the brokerage agreed to pay you a certain dollar amount and didn't pay you.
I don't.
And you don't have that.
That's another thing, is because, and this is where it gets messy, right? Because I've never actually delivered it to the first leg. The insurance.
Okay.
So we spoke to the insurance agent, and the insurance agent has said they could possibly not pay the first rate confirmation because it was never delivered.
Yeah, he's true. So Dan made a comment here. Says, I had rolls of paper. Receiver said damage from forklift. Going to file on my insurance. I said, put it back on. I'll get another. Suddenly it was okay. I don't, hold on. Dan says, had rolls of paper. Receiver said damage from forklift. Going to file on my insurance. I said, put it back on. I'll get another. Suddenly it was okay.
Yeah. I mean,
Ronald says, leave the trailer doors open at one of those plazas with at one of the plazas. The trailer will have no problem getting unloaded in minutes.
Trust me, I already had them conversations with the owner of the company. I said I could drive down the Bronx and leave the doors wide open. His first words were, just take it to the damn landfill. I was like, I mean, this product, like, and the crazy thing is, it's only 1 or 2 pallets that, like, sort of the product slid out. The rest of the product's perfectly fine, not damaged, nothing. It's just they can't get it past the door jam without breaking the pallet down. That's the irony of it all, right? The product's not even bad. If it was like a load of tomatoes.
Here's the thing. You said it's going to a Home Depot, right?
Yeah, distribution center.
Okay. They have carts. They have like drywall carts. So what you do is just get one guy behind it and tip it up onto the cart and then pull it off it would take hours, but you could do it. I used to haul drywall and structural steel. Like, I have an idea on what you're telling me this product is.
I can
It's
walk
sheathing.
here and show you. When you see this, you're gonna laugh. You're gonna give me 2 seconds, okay?
Yeah.
I'm gonna put my boots on. You're gonna laugh at this one. When you see it, you're gonna be like, there is no way Bacon accepts it, man.
I got a feeling you're gonna show me some gypsum sheathing, is what I think you're gonna show me.
Dude, it's a joke. This is a joke. Hang on a second.
Live from a New Jersey plaza, we got Stuart the hobby trucker.
I'm actually at a truck stop in Jersey right now. I mean, this is how much I care about it. I didn't even bother padlocking. That's how the whole load is there, okay? And you see how it slid out the packaging on the end there?
Oh, yeah.
They can't get it past this little lip. The whole load, it's only maybe 1 or 2 pallets. You can I don't know if you can see that down there. There's 1 or 2 pallets where it's happened.
Yep.
And that's why they won't unload it.
Oh my goodness.
Then the receiver did this trying to take it out. The receiver did this trying to pull it out on here. Just that little corner.
Unbelievable.
I mean, can you believe that?
Unbelievable. No. And I'm not saying they should accept damaged product, but you know what? If you damage 5 pieces out of however many pieces that is, that's not a big deal.
It's not even what I mean? It's not even the damage they received. That's not their reason for because they did that. That's them. That was the receiver that did that. So I don't know, man. Like you see that, and like you just can't. I can't make sense of it. Right? Here's my thought. Right? My thought was Home Depot's got too much of his product. They needed a reason to reject it, and that was a good enough reason to reject it. The economy's tight right now, right? And they just,
Hey, there's a good comment that just came in from Lunchbox. When I worked at Lowell's, all we did was pick up the units and side shift right to left to straighten it out with the forklift against the side of the trailers. Yeah, you can do that, but you better be freaking very careful.
I mean, that stuff's only 3 millimeters thick.
Yeah.
What do you know? So.
But he's got to. He obviously Lunchbox would have unloaded it for you if he was at that distribution center.
Yeah, I mean it's craziness, man. I mean it's absolute craziness. And then the shipper's like, well, we need to bear in mind the shipper's seen this, right? They've seen them pictures, right? I've taken lots of pictures and video. It's been sent to them, and they need a gentleman's agreement. I'm like, gentlemen, that's like just you're taking about getting paid.
Did they tell you to spit on your hand and shake their gentleman's agreement?
Well, I felt it was more like bend over this barrel. What? That's what I felt like.
With some of Cash's King's butthurt cream.
Yeah, that's what I feel like it was more like. But I don't know, man. And like so now I'm waiting on a phone call from the insurance adjuster because he's gonna supposedly he was meant to call me tonight. He never did. And so now I'm 120 miles from the house, 120 miles from the shipper, and I'm now in a situation. Do I take it home and be like, this ain't going anywhere until we come to an agreement? Or do I go to the shipper and be like, you know what? Have the adjuster look at it. I've got to be careful because at the end of the day, it's not my carrier either, right? I mean, I know I'm the contractor, but you know what? I'm the one paying for the fuel. It's all me that's coming out of pocket.
So,
I lost the money.
That's what I was just gonna say. Is at some point you have to look at this as, and I'm not saying you should do this because you might just have to get to a point where wherever you get it, if they're willing to take it off, you just cut your losses. You have one Raycon. Hopefully they honor that Raycon. I'm not telling you shouldn't make money, Stuart. That's not at all what I'm telling you. But the loss of revenue for that shit sitting on your trailer for multiple days might be worth however much it cost you to drive.
I've already done the numbers with the money that I've lost with the direct customer, the days lost and stuff like that, fuel that I've put in. If they don't pay me on the run up here, I mean, I figured we're knocking on the door of $8,000 to $10,000, something like that. You know,
Yeah, that
just and this is where I mean, look, I've already made phone calls to a buddy of mine that's a product. He sells mainly like food. He's a broker in food, but he's already found someone that would buy it for 25 grand.
really.
So, so if I need to go that route, I have the contacts if needs be. But I don't know, man. Like it's one of them things. I don't know where my rights are. I don't know what I can and can't do. I mean, you can't ask me to move something without paying me. I mean,
Stuart, I agree. I agree with that.
I'm going to rephrase that. We have to come to an agreement. You can't force my hand to move it, which is, I feel like it's being done now by, holding me hostage. No different
Right.
to, if I was never to give the product and say, look, I'm not giving this back to you until you pay me X, Y, Z. We have to come to some sort of agreement, but they know that I'm losing money every day I sit. So that's why I'm like, do I just go home, drop the trailer and just do power only stuff till they come to an agreement?
Yeah, you don't want to not make money.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And if you're a carrier and it sounds like you were already talking to the insurance adjuster, I mean, if you guys come to agreement, because that's actually in my mind, looking at this, like if it was my position, the only thing I would care about is what is my insurance company saying to me.
Mhm.
Right. And I'm not being rude to you. Like I'm a contractor too, but I know at the end of the day, the carrier I'm leased onto is going to care more about what his insurance company has to say than what I have to say, which he should. Like,
no, I agree with that. I agree
you
with
know,
that. But the reality is, once you get into claims, can I then, if there's a claim opened, can I claim for my trip back?
I'm sure. I don't know, man. I don't know.
Yeah.
Once again, these are things I don't know.
Yeah, nor do I. And this is where it gets over my head a little bit. And look, and I'll be the first one. I don't know what I don't know. I know what I would like to do right now.
Yeah.
But it might not necessarily be the right thing. You know what I'm saying? So,
Right.
But this week has definitely been an eye opener of realizing what we have for rights as a carrier. With stuff like that, where okay, you sign away certain rights to do certain things, and now I'm almost being demanded to do something which I don't necessarily agree with.
I agree.
Because of they know I only have a certain piece of equipment. They know that I need to make a paycheck, and it's tough, man. It's tough.
Yeah, it's not right.
And it's not like
the industry isn't there. How do I say this? There is so much demand on what we do for a living, like what is required of us, whether you talk about a federal level, state DOTs, shippers, receivers, brokers, even our carriers, all the regulations and all the things we have to follow. And at the end of the day, the person that really gets screwed a lot is the driver. I mean, that's just the reality of this industry, and it sucks. It's not right. I'm trying to read some of these comments here. Gus FC says, "Hey, welcome back, Gus. It's been a while since I've seen you. Take a crowbar and pry that crap back into the package." Doc Holiday says, "Butthurt cream was broken glass."
The problem is if I go in there and do it right, and I start breaking stuff in the process, because that board stuff, it doesn't take much to break that board. If I break it, then
you might be held liable.
But I'm on the hook for it, right? And this is where it gets sticky, right? And messy is, part of me was like, well, do I just get in there and get a couple of day laborers and start restacking it? But if we damage it, then we're on the hook for it. And it's like the Home Depot lady said. She said, you know what? Getting it restacked could potentially fall back on you now, the fact that we've rejected it, if you start damaging product, which I understand. I get it.
Butch has got a great comment, which I think he's freaking right. Butch says, if the receiver rejected the load, shipper is responsible for taking the load back. Shippers said they would take the load back, right? You just want to get paid for it.
Yeah, they've pretty much said,
And they said they're not going to.
well, what they've said is let's have a gentleman's agreement. We need to see the product before we agree on anything. So you want me to drive 1,000 miles before you can agree on anything? Which, I mean, to me is unreasonable. If Bed came to me and said, "Hey, look, we're going to pay you $1,000 for your fuel, and then on the contingency that if we can see that it's not your fault, then we'll increase that to the same rate as you went up there." That's reasonable, right? I propose that to the broker. Broker wants nothing to do with it. They're not going to do anything until they see it. Let's have a gentleman's. And I understand the broker doesn't want to ruffle the feathers of the customer too much, right? I understand that, and that's his customer. He doesn't want to lose the customer. But there comes but even part of me is like, well, did the broker screw up here? Did the broker try and save a couple of bucks by putting it on a van instead of putting it on a flatbed? Because flatbed prices have gone up a little bit the last couple of weeks, right? With spring being here. So I start asking all these questions, and it's like, well, everyone's out for their own interests, which I get it. But there comes a point, someone's got to take responsibility for this, and
Yeah. Ronald says he might be yelling at the phone. He says it's amazing that the lowest part of the load is out of place with all the weight on it.
I said the same thing. I said, how the hell is it the bottom couple of bits? All the stuff at the top is perfectly fine. It's just the bottom. But it went in the trailer okay, so it wasn't like that when it went in. I would have figured that, the top couple of pallets, maybe, that would be where it would slide. Nope, it's all at the bottom.
Yeah.
Understanding physics there.
Butch says broker is responsible for paying you a going rate. I
don't think so.
We would love to think that's the truth, Butch. It's just not.
My understanding is, from what I've gathered from the insurance agent so far, speaking to the carrier and everyone and the shipper and the broker, this is still the shipper's product. This product still belongs to the shipper. And
cents per mile says FaceTime the shipper. Boom, they can see the product before you agree to transport it.
They've got pictures.
Okay.
I mean, all this has been done. Maybe not a FaceTime, but they've had
videos and pictures.
And this is where you're getting, excuse the language, but you're getting fucked, right?
There you go. Thanks, Stuart. That's the last time you're coming in. No, I'm kidding.
No, but
I know what you mean.
They're being so shady about it that you're gonna get told, well, we're not paying you, it's your fault.
So Mark Ely brings up kind of the point I was talking about, and in no way do I expect any of us to ever haul anything for free. In no way am I saying this. I think at certain times we have to cut our losses, and I think you sitting costs you more money than what, like, in the big scheme of things, costs you more money sitting with that crap on your truck than you just getting it back and figuring out how to get it off. And if you get paid, you get paid. If you don't, you don't. Yeah. Mark Ely says, bring it back, plain and simple. Also accept you're not going to get paid. That is a hard pill to swallow, but I think he's right, Stuart. I've
sort of accepted that. At this point, that's why I'm here, right? I'm here, and I'm at this point. But I'm doing things in my, I make, before that doors even open up at the shipper, the insurance adjuster is going to be standing at the back.
Yep, I think that's a very smart idea.
I'm going to have the insurance adjuster look through the loading facility and see. There's flatbed loading equipment. There's flatbed loading equipment. And show that predominantly most of these loads, because the shipper tried saying, well, we can't put it on a flatbed because of humidity. I've got vents on this trailer. Yeah. It's like, come on, spare me the bullshit, right? Spare me the bullshit.
cheap freight haulers asking who the broker is, but
I'm not.
part of the you're part of the reason why you're being so diplomatic, even though you're pissed off, is because you want to work with this broker again.
Yep.
So I get that. Cents per mile says, so you're wrong about the product. It isn't the shippers, it's the carriers right now. You took possession. Same reason why broker never has possession of the load or control. I've heard that said before too.
I've heard that said before too, but
I don't know.
according to our insurance agent, that belongs to the shipper still. According to our insurance agent, because that was one of the big things, depending on how the bill of lading is written and stuff like that. I guess determines, if it's prepaid product, etc. That plays a big, from what my understanding, plays a big factor in determining who actually owns the product. Because my understanding is it's more Home Depot, Lowe's, stuff like that, they do more stuff on consignment. It's more of I don't want to call it consignment. That's the best way I can describe it. They pretty much are selling the shelf space, not the product.
Not the product, right?
Yeah.
Well,
they just inventory it, almost, is the best way to describe it.
That's like a lot of major distributors. I mean, that's what Walmart does, that Target, that's what they all do.
Yeah.
Gus CF or Shannon says, I like the FaceTime idea. Well, FaceTime Shannon. Gus CF says, if the axles are all the way forward, you've got a lot of tail swing back and forth. Yeah, but still you have all that weight sitting. I know it's separated by dunnage, but that dunnage all holds weight. You know what I mean? So you have that tail swing, but
I couldn't figure it out. We've got to be looking at the physics wrong, because I thought the same thing. With all that weight on there, how the hell is it the bottom ones that have slid and not the top one? You figured the less weight, the easier it would be to slide. And it's not sliding much. It's only this much. I mean, yeah.
Shannon says, put it in the river. Hashtag cash is king. I skipped a couple.
I might have to do that. Back it up real quick.
Yeah. Stuart, so this is from Ronald again, says, Stuart, as you said, the customer has too much of the crap and you made Stuart, as you said, the customer has too much of the crap and made you their rejected the load. I think basically what he's saying is the customer kind of set you up for failure.
Yeah, I feel like that too. And I've heard horror stories of Home Depot like to throw their weight around a little bit when it comes to that type of stuff. A lot of big companies like to throw their weight around, any reject.
Cheap Freight Hauler says, I would start going up the chain, speak to that agent's boss, and keep going up the ladder until your trailer is empty.
Trust me, I'm about 5 managers deep right now at brokers. And all I get from the broker is an apology. It's like, dude, apologies do me no good. Just trust me, all these avenues have been explored.
Doc Holliday says, maybe an axle burning fire.
Yeah.
But
new trailer in the process.
Yeah, right. I hope you get this resolved quickly. I'm actually gonna end it for tonight. I gotta be up at 1:00 in the morning, so I'm gonna try and relax here. I hope you get this resolved, man.
I will do an update tomorrow of where we're at. So
yeah, thanks for sharing it. And I mean, these are things that we deal with on a daily basis. I mean, I've been held at shippers or at receivers for one freaking box, a damaged box. I've sat there 10 hours trying to figure out what they want to do with one box that was rejected. You know what I mean? It's ridiculous. Yeah. But
it's definitely infuriating, right? It definitely will get you wound up. You got to have some patience, and here's the thing, right? And I'll just put a close on this real quick. Is it made me realize, right? Because I got into it with my wife about this. She's like, you sat in New Jersey all week and not generated any revenue, and now you're telling me you're going to bring it back? I said, well, unfortunately, I'm not an employee. We're a business, and I'm like, there is proper channels we have to follow
Yep.
to get paid. That could be 6 months from now. And I said, you know what? Unfortunately, when you're a business owner, this is some of the stuff that we have to deal with and have to be prepared. And when people say you need money put aside, this is the type of stuff you're talking about. Because you know what? I now have a week with no revenue, right?
Yeah, that sucks.
And whereas if I was an employee for someone, you know what? I would still be getting a paycheck of some sort, right? If it's detention, layover, whatever. Now it's a very different scenario, and I've lost what $7,000-8,000 this week.
That's crazy. That's a tough pill to swallow, man. I don't, and I mean, I hope that never happens to me. I'm sorry to hear you're going through this, but real quick, George Wilson says, come on, people, start hitting that thumbs up. Hey, there's still 45 people in here watching it. I would really appreciate it if you guys did take the time to give me a thumbs up. I'm starting to get a little bit more traction, more views. So your thumbs up like really helps me. And I really would appreciate it. So thanks for saying that, George Wilson. Ronald makes a good point. You should go live, Stuart. If I'm going to wrap it up, why don't you go live?
I will do that then. I was going to make a phone call real quick and I'll go live. So give me 10 minutes, okay?
All right, guys. Well, I am going to get off. Stuart, thanks for stopping in.
I'm hit the like button on the way out.
All right. Thank you, sir.
Later.
Later. Yeah, man, Stuart, I hope you get that resolved quickly. That sucks. No revenue. Don't know what to do with the load that's in your trailer. That sucks. But anyways, I hope everybody has a great day. I appreciate everybody stopping in here. Real quick, please hit the thumbs up. I really do appreciate it. Honestly, I do. I appreciate all the comments you guys leave. I know I don't reply to all of them. That's just because it takes a lot of time. I'm just being honest with y'all. But yeah, I hope everybody has a great night. And yeah, we'll talk to you again later.